Hello, I'm Bobby, the pastor of Lighthouse Church, and I want to welcome you to today's video. I have a little bit different type of video today. In the recently past, I have been talking a lot in some of these videos about the church and about how the church should act. And I've been getting a lot of comments about how horrible the church is or how horrible Christians are. And first off, I want to say this. There are a lot of bad churches out there. There are a lot of churches that I would say uses Jesus' name by name only. And I am no fool. I know that and I understand that. But I also want to say this. There are a lot of good churches out there. There are a lot of good Christians out there. There are a lot of good pastors out there. And so we can't, a lot of times we want to judge every single church by one church in particular. And I get it. I really do. And I understand that there is a lot of pain out there. And I am not saying that there isn't. But I also want to say that there is a lot of good that God does through the church. Another problem that we have is there's a lot of people who are atheists or who say they hate God because of the work of some horrible and bad churches out there. And again, I understand. And I completely understand why there is that pain, but I want to take a moment in today's video and I want to talk about my experience with God and my experience with the church and really one church in particular. And the reason I want to do this is I want to show you all that there are good churches out there, and that if there is pain out there, I pray that you will find maybe just one Christian or one church who truly represents God in a good, effective way, who can direct you to God. And so God can use that person or that church to start healing those hurts and those wrongs. And again, I want you to understand that I am not saying that it is your fault or that those churches who do wrong are in the right, because they aren't. But I just want to take a moment and really talk about what the church is and how the church should act. Now, again, I do want to say this before I really get into the meat of the video. And this might be a video where I ramble on a little bit, but I really want to show you the trueness of my heart when it comes to the church, because the church is called as the bride of Christ. And I know that there are a lot of, as I said before, a lot of churches, a lot of Christians who do not represent being the bride of Christ in a good way. And so I just want to take a moment and talk about that. Um, I have, again, this is my experience with the church. from a universal standpoint and a local standpoint. And I might talk a lot about some things I covered during my testimony video as well, which I encourage you to go look at. But I want to say this: your hurt is real, and I'm praying for you. I'm praying for that pain. And I'm praying that God will use, as I said before, use churches, real, true, God fearing churches, to help heal those pains and those hurts and allow you to be a part of that community. For myself and my family, we have been going to the same church on and off since I was a freshman in high school. Before then, I have had a lot of problems with the church and with God in particular, because as you can tell by my voice, there I have a speech impediment, and I was really picked on a lot in my younger age because of that. And so when I was young, I felt the calling to be a pastor, to help people who have disabilities, who have speech impediments, who have been picked on, to help them and direct them to God. And it just seemed like before we went to this church, that a lot of the churches I went to, a lot of the pastors that I asked for support and help, they just really blew me off. And it wasn't until we went to this church my freshman year that I just felt like no one really wanted me. No one really wanted us a part of their community, a part of their church. And then we started going to this church, and the pastors quickly came alongside us and started showing us support and love. These pastors are pastors that I still call friends, that I still call mentors. And I'm 32 years old now, and it's been 20 years that I've been going to this church, maybe a little less than 20 years, and they still support me. They still love on me. They still minister to me when I'm in a tough spot, when I'm not there spiritually. They pull me alongside and show me the love of Christ, and they minister to my soul. And this is what, first off, this is what pastors should do. No matter if you haven't gone to a church in 2 or 3 years, they should still, if you just by chance see a pastor of that church, they should come alongside you and walk with you and love on you and guide you. Now, this doesn't mean that they condone your sin, or they condone sinful behavior, but that means they walk with you and lead you and direct you to Jesus Christ, and they minister to your soul, and they allow God to use them to do so. But a church is also so much more than just the pastors. The church that me and my family has gone through on and off since I was a freshman, they are a family. They truly love one another. They truly care for one another. Jesus tells his disciples that the way the outside world will know that they are Christian is by their love for one another. And this is a church that truly loves and supports one another. No matter if they've gone to that church for a week or for 20 plus years, they love one another. They hang out outside of church. They meet at each other's homes to do Bible studies, to study the Word of Christ. And this is the other thing that a church needs to do. They need to have members who actually care for each other, who actually will be there for one another, who want to hang out outside of church. If there's a member struggling, it's not just the pastor who goes alongside people, it's the members of the church. And they also understand that as members of the church, it's not just the pastor who evangelizes. It's those members who evangelize. No matter where their missionary field is, no matter if they are called to go to China or Europe on missions, or if they're just called to bring the love of Christ to their everyday workforce. They understand the members of the church understand that they are truly the hands and feet of Christ. And that's what I've seen at the church that I am talking about. The members understand that they are tools of Jesus Christ, and they understand they are representatives of Jesus Christ. And so, why am I telling you this? Why am I taking this time to do a very off the cuff video? It's because I know there are people out there that have been hurt by the church or the so-called church. And first off, I want to apologize for that. As a pastor, as a representative of Jesus Christ, I want to apologize for the pain you have felt, for the pain that you have seen through church leadership who has abused their power, through members of Christ who have been haughty and think of themselves higher than they should. That is not the church that Jesus talks about in the Bible. And that is not the church that any church plant like Lighthouse Church should strive to be. And so I want to take a minute to apologize to you who have been hurt. That is not the church that I believe God is building through Lighthouse Church, nor is it the church that should represent Jesus Christ. I urge you, if you have been hurt by churches in the past, try to find another one. Try to find one that, first off, won't abuse their authority, won't abuse their power, but two, they won't allow you to stay comfortable in any sin you might be going through right now. Because there are really two sides of a church. One that abuses their authority through manipulation and power, and one that just allows you to live your life however you want. And that's not the church at all either. A true loving church will come alongside you. And not only will they try to help you with your sin, but they will let you know about the sin in their life as well. And so I want to thank you for going through this journey with me in this video about the church where I just rant. And I apologize that, there might not be no structure to it, but I just really want to take a moment and talk about what a church should be. Because like I said, this church that I've gone through since I was a freshman in high school is one of the good ones. But I've also been a part of some bad churches as well. And I realize that, one, how much damage it can do to Jesus Christ first off, and two, how much damage it can do to a non-believer or a new believer as well. And I think the church needs to do a better job of representing Jesus Christ in the best way they can. Thank you.